You're listening to Barely Legal in Web3. I'm your host, Jamiliagrier. On this podcast, we talk about everything at the intersection between legal compliance and Web3 innovation. This podcast is an audio extract from my YouTube channel, where I bring to you in-depth interviews with Web3 entrepreneurs and innovators in Dubai and beyond. Listen, if you're a lawyer looking to upskill into Web3, you can check out my website, bytebow.io, for courses and our flagship Web3 Bootcamp. The Bootcamp provides you information about NFTs, cryptocurrency, and DAOs, and their associated business models and legal considerations. And the best part is, it's all taught by me. That's not really even the best part. You also get a chance to gain hands-on work experience with one of our partner companies. So no more feeling like you don't have the skills to actually do this stuff. And all of the information that's in this bootcamp is based upon my 15 years of legal experience across the world as an associate at law firm, in-house counsel, and most importantly, being an entrepreneur myself. So if you're really keen on it and you want to level up into Web3, check out bytebow.io. And now, on to today's discussion. Welcome back to another episode of Barely Legal in Web3. I'm here today with a great guest. His name is Sam Lai. He's the founder of MetaIncubator. Sam, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here,
Yeah, I'm glad you are here. And it's been a long journey for you to get here from Singapore.
No, actually, I'm from Hong Kong. So,
but you spend time
in Singapore too.
Okay. Awesome. So from that part of the world, because we share that because I spent about 7 years in Singapore and I spent some time in China.
Yeah.
I've never lived in Hong Kong though.
But where in China?
Okay. Shanghai, Dalian, and a city that you've never heard of, which is Guangxi.
Guangxi, because my hometown is next to between Guangdong and Guangxi,
Really?
Yeah. So, hey.
Guys.
It's really
but do you know Qinzhou?
Qinzhou, I don't know.
Okay, all right. That's a little bit too village for you. Okay.
Yeah, but it's amazing. You went there,
Yeah.
It's a different part of China. So.
Different part of China. So we've both traveled. I mean, I think this whole from Asia to the Middle East now, I think that's a pretty interesting trend. So
it tell you something. I'm from Hong Kong, you're from Singapore, now we talk in Dubai.
So what brought you? I guess we'll start with that. What brought you from Hong Kong to Dubai?
Because you were looking for crazy story, right?
Yeah, I want the crazy story.
Can I start the crazy story? I actually come here for a birthday party.
Wait.
Just really true. I told everybody it's the same story. It's a birthday party. Because the long story is I was actually working in Beijing before the pandemic.
Okay.
In a family business. It's like exhibition and like auto park trading.
Okay.
And then during the pandemic, I actually stay in Hong Kong because I have an apartment there. And then because during the pandemic, we have nothing to do.
Right.
So I was just keep drinking and dining with my friends. So we kind of like have a 10 a.m. breakfast, like with Japanese breakfast, like sushi and sashimi. And then we start drinking sake for like 5-6 hours.
Okay, that'll do you in.
Yeah. But then actually what I found out is my friend, actually who I met in Beijing, he's actually in the crypto business for a long time. Because I'm one of the really old person. I actually from the internet. I'm like from year 2000.
You're from Prodigy and AOL. Just say it. Just throw it out there. Me too. Dial up.
Like this, that kind of thing.
Get off the phone. I'm on the internet.
Yeah. So and then when we talking, like my dining, and then I also another friend also in crypto, and then we kind of have a bunch of crypto person like drinking and talking all the time. That's how I kind of like start learning about crypto. Because before that I thought, I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
About blockchain, Bitcoin, Ethereum. I don't know if this real way.
Right.
Because we are from the old technology background, then we are proud of our old heritage. But then I learned actually there may be something very interesting in here. Yeah. So and then after the pandemic, I think at the end of 2020, so my business partner, she actually was planning to move to Paris because I was in Hong Kong for 2 years. Like that's too crazy.
Yeah.
Before the pandemic, I think you and I the same thing, right?
Yeah.
We pretty much like never spend longer than 1 week or 2 weeks in any single city.
Yes.
And then we just rotating
loved
around
it.
the world. So yeah. So but even right now we still cannot get back to that kind of schedule. But
No.
let's see if like next year can we do it. And then suddenly she just call me up. Hey Sam, I'm in Dubai, come for my birthday party. Okay, then say, oh, yes, okay, sure, we'll come to Dubai for your birthday party. But then thinks, what I can do in Dubai, can I check it out or do something else? Yeah, let's do a metaverse incubator.
What?
Because why metaverse, because metaverse going to be the popular word in the next few years. And then, I come here, we have a crazy birthday party. And then I'm the one that try to build a MetaIncubator in here, because I do have a lot of experience working for startup for like over 10 years. That's why my business partner found me to build that.
This is like the professional version of the movie The Hangover. Do you know that movie The Hangover?
I know.
Wait.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's true for everybody in Dubai.
Yeah.
Everybody said, I come here for one thing, and I have since stay here since.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
so
true.
Dubai is actually have a really unique characteristics in terms of this.
There seems to be kind of this trend of like a brain drain from Asia.
Yes.
To Dubai, particularly, I would say. I mean, a lot of the businesses that I talk to in Singapore and in China, things have really slowed down. But in Singapore, for sure, they're just looking over here, like what's happening in Dubai? You guys are doing what? What was going on?
So I think it's not just Asia. I think it's also Europe. A lot of Europeans are moving to Dubai too. So, because I've been here for a whole year last year. So I can see even in the Web3, crypto and metaverse space, how it changed for the last 1 year, And because when I come here, the community is very small. But of course, some unfortunate event happened, right? Yeah. And then when the Ukraine and Russian war start, a lot of Russians come here. And now even more because they start the job, right?
Right.
And then when India have a tax hike on crypto,
yes,
that all the Indian like VC and founder like all come here too.
Yes.
And of course China too. China is a lot of people, not just in crypto, in a lot of different industry, they all come here because China is still under COVID, the situation.
Right.
And Hong Kong have kind of very unstable for the last few years. That's why even for Hong Kong people, right? First they actually go to Singapore, and now Singapore is overcrowded.
Yeah.
And also Singapore, I think it changed a different direction.
Yeah.
And we can talk about it later because I think they want to be the financial center, not the crypto center.
Yes.
But Dubai want to be the crypto center and metaverse center. That's exactly why a lot of Singaporeans are actually moving here too.
That's so true. And I was in banking in Singapore.
Yeah.
Funny enough. I worked for a bank, Standard Chartered, and I mean, it's barely legal. We're saying everything. Worked for Standard Chartered, and there was a lot of innovation going on in one particular arm of the bank, but, still testing out digital payments, still testing out, what can we really use blockchain for, but not really going after it. And I said, look, this is not, if you guys are just going to, put your feet in the water, I said, no, we got to jump in. Yeah. So I ended up leaving and starting ByteBow and coming here. And I actually, I came in November of last year. So I didn't really know that Dubai was really going to be full on, crypto hub.
Yeah.
I think I just came because I was thinking, well, Singapore, the lockdown restrictions are pretty tough. And, maybe it'd be easier to launch a business here because the cost of living compared to Singapore is less. You can live more comfortably.
Much cheaper too.
Yes, and much cheaper too. I mean, that's something that people, I think they underappreciate.
Yeah.
Like everyone talks like, oh, Dubai is so expensive. Go to Singapore. Go to Sentosa. Go to Sentosa and live for a year. You're done. Hong Kong too.
And Hong Kong is getting actually much cheaper for the last few years.
Oh,
because
really?
I can see the price because from the beginning of the pandemic to when I left Hong Kong like 1 year ago, the price like going down. You can see it. Like obviously. So
Yeah, because people are leaving, right? And
people leaving, people spending less. Yeah. Just like for sneaker, when I go back, it costs like the average costs 400 Hong Kong dollar for a pair, and then become 200.
Oh, I may need to take a trip to Hong Kong.
Yeah, because before they were having the big margin, right? Because at that time, Hong Kong, the rent is very expensive. Yep. But since the pandemic, like I think a lot of people like stop paying rent, or the landlord actually reduced the rent a lot. But Hong Kong landlord are very rich, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, they don't really care. Didn't they just recently open up, or they reduced the 3-day quarantine?
No, there's no more quarantine. So you actually only have 3-day at home observation.
Oh.
So it pretty much open already. I was a little bit negative about Hong Kong before, pessimistic, but now I actually become more and more positive.
Yeah.
Because I think right now with the new governor, or chief, in Hong Kong, I think it will be more under control, and even the Chinese central government will appreciate that. So just like kids, right? When you actually listen to your parents, you actually have more flexibility to do things.
Yes.
That's why even in China is still locked down, but Hong Kong is totally open now, pretty much,
Yeah. Well, that's very attractive for people who are still interested in, and there's still a lot of VCs still in Hong Kong.
It's a lot of crypto hedge fund, because a lot of trading, they don't have trading like professional trader in Dubai per se. They have commodity, but not like financial and crypto trading. So even some of the hedge fund I know are still in Hong Kong.
So you went to this wild party, you went through the hangover plot, and you said, hey, we're going to kick this off in Dubai. Tell us about MetaIncubator and what it is that you guys do. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So I think the idea that, of course, we say the joke, but sometimes, when you say joke, there's a lot actually not deep fraud behind the decision. Because when we open the MetaIncubator, as an incubator, you actually is kind of a really platform that you can see all the project in Dubai. Once you say, I'm incubator, pretty much all the startup, all the project come to us for resources. Then we can actually kind of gauge how good Dubai is, in terms of R&D and Web3 development, all those things. And then from there, right, we actually, right now, mostly we're working for startup yet, not that many corporate. Because usually the incubator, you can either have corporate client or the startup client.
Right.
But corporate is really conservative. They're really interested in metaverse that we can talk about, but they feel very conservative. They're not like, we're going to pay you money and build a metaverse or do consulting to do something. They always just observe. So for startup, we pretty much talk to most of the project in here. So what we help them is actually, a lot of them is, for us, because I'm really strong technology background, I only work with really strong technology project too.
Okay.
So a lot of the NFT project, I said, that's just a marketing thing. I don't do that. So even the first kind of NFT project I do is a 3D object NFT marketplace. Okay. And then for the startup, we actually help them to, first of all, okay, I see is your technology there or not? Are you missing some part of technology? And after that, you have technology, but what product are you building? That actually really, I think, neck in here. Because a lot of founders, they build technology, but not building product. Because you can have a product, then you can have a business model, then you can talk to VC.
Yeah.
Because at the end, everybody need money from VC,
Right.
Everybody's fundraising. So I think for me, right, my kind of the biggest contribution I have to the startup is actually help them fix their business plan.
Okay.
And then connect them with kind of top tier VC. Because in here, even the VC industry is very local. They have local Middle Eastern VC now because in India, the situation in India, also a lot of Indian VC in here, but there's no tier 1 VC like A16C, Sequoia in here. So I kind of connecting some of the startup to them. Also even blockchain. A lot of blockchain are not here. Like Near Protocol, the Ethereum, they don't have a strong presence in here. The only one actually Polygon, because actually the Polygon founder spent a lot of time in Dubai.
Yeah. Do you see more? I mean, I guess when you look across these metaverse projects, do you see more on the gaming side, or do you see more? Is there any particular sway that you're noticing?
That actually is an unsaid secret about the Web3 world, because right? Actually, all the transactions on the blockchain, all blockchain included, half of them are from gaming. So half of them are on L1, so half of them in L2. So even on L2 level, half of them are also from gaming. So even right now, for every single blockchain, currently, right, they're all aggressively looking for gaming project. And gaming project, there's so many things, right? First of all, you're gonna issue the NFT, so people buy an NFT, and then you're gonna have token, in-game purchase, there's been more NFT, and then you need more token, So all of them are transaction. So that actually is so some of the people that in the industry told me, I think they said it's first half of next year, but I think maybe second half of next year, they probably should have 5,000 GameFi project will be launched.
Wow.
Yeah. I think not even globally, probably just like in Southeast Asia, including Dubai. So
that's very interesting. And I think, what people don't understand when they think about the metaverse is that there's so many different applications and ways that you can use the virtual space. It's not just, gaming, or it's not just, having events, whether it's below board or below, any sort of virtual place. It is so versatile.
Yeah. It's actually, I think, I actually don't think it's a space. For me, I have a really unique view about what is metaverse. For me, metaverse is an experience. It's an imaginative world, right? I'm born in the 70s. So the biggest metaverse for me is Star Wars.
Oh, wow.
For them, it's just a few movies, but then create billions and billions dollar of revenue. And they still also have game. They also have Star Wars, have their own metaverse, like 3D metaverse right now. So I think when people look to metaverse, don't just focus on the technology, or I did the cool goggle, I did the HoloLens, whatever. Really focus on experience, because I think for internet, it pretty much go to a limit that how you can do on e-commerce, a website already. So that's why Facebook actually would jump to the metaverse kind of a ecosystem to how to further improve that experience. So as a small business or big business, what you actually really focusing on metaverse is there any technology that can help you to even provide a better experience to your user.
Do you think the playing field is kind of level now, or do you think there are actually more projects than there are VCs to support, or do you think it's where are we headed?
I was working in VC industry for over 10 years, 15 years, something like that. It's always more VC than startup. Good startup.
You hear that, people?
Yeah. So, but the thing is, I think a lot of founders really need to understand what actually VC thinks.
Tell us.
As I said earlier, right? They really care about is the business model. They care how do you make money. It's not about how cool your technology is. But then the thing is, they only invest in technology projects, so they will not skip the technology side too. If you have no technology, then they won't look at you. So, but if you are an engineer, you program all the time, you sometimes you never think about marketing, how to build a business, So I think even that's one thing, when you set up a team, always find a founder that's really good in getting customer and figure out the product, and one is actually really good in technology. So it actually amplify, the chance of getting money from VC. So
it's so interesting to hear you talk about VCs in the Web3 space, because some people in the Web3 space are all of this idea of using the technology to fundraise, whether we're talking about using
ICO,
tokens or
idea.
right, that piece. And so do you see a pull, or do you see sort of an off ramp from that towards a traditional VC, or do you think it's still kind of like a hybrid?
It's actually a hybrid. You can see actually most of the project, they all have the private sales and the public sale, even for the seed round. So when I said, I want to raise $1 million. So what they will do is first they sell $500,000 to private investor, usually it's VC.
Yeah.
But then when they sell it, the price of the token actually increasing already. So, and then they left some of them actually left very, very little in the public round, because then they can control the flow and they will not destroy the price of the token when they launch it. So some of them maybe go 75% a private sale, 25% kind of a public sale. So, and this is one model. That's what I see in the last year when I look at a project. So I think a lot of them are really hybrid. For only a very few projects like a DAO, that they really go all the way to go to people directly. But still, most of them are still VC money.
Yeah, and that's so interesting, because you always hear this sort of discord of the NFT holders or the token holders having this power struggle with the VCs, or being like, hey, or particularly in the DAO sense, I'll say, in the DAO sense, where, you have your voting rights and there's this whole idea of governance, and there's a fear of dilution in control. Do you see that much?
I actually don't see that much. For me, of course, they always have concentration to people who have more money. They can always buy more token. But then the only question is your incentive aligned with the VC? Because when you in a kind of a corporate, entity, usually everybody just want the price to go up. Nobody like explicitly want to like make kind of destroy the party, right? So everybody want to keep the party going too. So even as an individual investor, I think don't need to worry too much, and always just go back to the basics. Focus on invest in good project, because usually the best situation come out is in a bad project that people like. The Palm and One, right? The rug pull. They just create a kind of a fixed project and pump a token price and then sell it to retail investor. But I think those of them will actually be gone. Yeah, because people are getting much smarter than you thought. So,
I was going to ask you, like, what do you think are like 2 or 3 things that if someone has in their project, you'd be like, take it out, throw it out. We don't, it's not trending anymore. People aren't interested in having this. It's not going to generate revenue, or it's looked at as gimmicky. Are there anything that kind of pops into your mind that's a total turn off when you see it in a business plan?
I don't think it's the turn. I actually don't think it's kind of like take it off. I think sometimes when I talk to project right now, I think the question I really like, really kind of not really had an upset to hear is they talk about the tokenomics. Oh yeah, the tokenomics. Because at the end, the tokenomics doesn't matter if you have a good product. So one example is everybody said, the Step N like project that actually is from Singapore founder, right? They said, the tokenomics so bad, it's not sustainable. But people still don't know it. They still making like $20 million each month or each quarter. I think maybe quarter, just selling the NFT sneaker, even currently. So how do you say that actually not a sustainable like project? Because it really because they're actually really smart. Because just like, okay, which company in the whole world, right, make even more money that target the same like customer group? The same customers. Compared to Step N. I guess Apple in some ways, but no, it's Nike. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Yep. So if you have to actually read the book, the shoe dogs. Yeah. Yep. So even the founder, Philip Lai, said, when he was young, if you go out and running, people think you're crazy. Because at that time, all the people are still working on the field. Yep. It's like, I'm farming on the land, so why you like have so much energy? I used to be dying already. But he's a professional runner, right? So you're running around, and the people say, why are you running? But then he can tell, right? The trend totally changed, a mega trend. So at that time, I think 60 and 70, that exercise and start like taking off. People actually, because we urbanize, we exercise, we actually like have physical labor less, so we need exercise. That's how kind of like you create it. So one thing then for all the potential aspiring founders, look at what's the mega trend. So that actually really important, Just like in Chinese, right? I think even Alibaba, like founder Jack Ma said, when you are in front of the wind, like when the wind are blowing you on the right direction, so like when you have a tailwind, tailwind, even a pig can fly. So make sure where's the tailwind is, find out where's the tailwind. So, but and Web3 and Metaverse is the huge tailwind. So. Yeah. And in Dubai, what was it? Yesterday there was the Metaverse Assembly. Yes. Right, and you see so much support from the government and sort of making sure that the foundations are right. And they talked a lot about privacy. They talked about cybersecurity. They talked about sustainability. They really went in and talked about using the technology in a way to benefit society. And I think that's something that haven't really, U.S. is still trying to, the U.S. is still trying to figure out how Facebook is working with the ads and the the disinformation. They're really not yet at understanding metaverse. So I think that's something very different. Yeah, I think so, because that's actually why I come here too. At least the reason why I stay, because the leadership in here is they're very, very visionary, but they also it's also kind of by force, right? Because they know the world is going to become try to be a more sustainable economy. So the oil industry may become smaller in the future. So they had to change the business, the economic base, right? Yeah. So they are really actively looking to open the technology business. And then they're probably also open to everybody.
Right.
Just like even if you're in Europe, you are in US, they're still arguing, how many immigrants will take a year?
Right.
But nobody here in Dubai talk about it.
Right.
And even for the last year, that probably at least like 1 million people move in, something like that. But still nobody say a thing because that's actually good for the economy.
Yeah.
Like the Russians are here, Chinese are here, Indian are here, and they are actually smart people too.
Yep.
They actually help work together, and just like in the metaverse assembly, you can see people from around the world.
That's actually very
amazing.
Unique.
And the talent pool is improving too. So, and also the demographic in GCC, actually nobody talk about it because 70% of people in here are under 30 years old.
Really?
Yes. All the
Guess
GCC
I'm in
country.
the upper
the
minority.
So right now we are only seeing Dubai.
Yeah.
And Saudi Arabia, which is a much, much bigger market, are also opening. Yeah. Then there's a lot of potential in here. So,
yeah.
And for Hong Kong and China, we're aging like
right.
No
I mean,
tomorrow,
yeah, so. it is very interesting because I'm a mom of 4. Mm-hmm. And when I was in Asia, people were like, "Oh my God, how are you going to feed yourself? Yeah. It's just wrap it up, lady. You're done." But here, having 4 children is actually much more common. And you do see that there is a younger population, and not just with the local population, but with the expats that are coming in or the immigrants that are coming in are bringing children who are either very young or around 15 or so. So I think that's also contributing to this whole vision of people, bringing the new ideas in.
Yeah. Also, I think the environment, because at the end, right? I'm single. I haven't kids, but I can guess, right? When people have a lot of kids, it means they feel comfortable. They really want to build a bigger family. Because Asia people don't want to have kids because they have so much pressure. The housing prices are so expensive.
Yeah.
Some of my friends are still living with their parents.
Yeah, I know.
When they're 40 and 50. So, but in here, there's a lot of space. They build a lot of houses and people are happy that their job in here and industry improving. So it's a good place to have a family here.
Yeah. And that's what you never see about Dubai. Isn't that very interesting?
Yeah.
Like there on the travel and hospitality side, you may see commercials with families at water parks, but for the most part, the luxury side of Dubai, people show singles, right? People out, having drinks, being at restaurants. Sure, that's totally fine. But there's this huge population that's raising families as well.
Yeah. No, it's actually exactly remind me when I was young. Just like when I was young, when we go to a restaurant, it's all children, all the children running around, they just non-stop. But when I went to go to Satwa for a Pakistani restaurant, then I see the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And then I that's why for some people, they think, those people are so uneducated, blah, 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 blah. But I remember where I come from. That's why exactly, I actually feel good because, those people are having a good time. Because I was born in 70 in Hong Kong, in 80. We are not that rich at that time. It's not like the Hong Kong you saw, That's why when we grew up, and we just like the whole family, go to the department store and have one popsicle. Because the department store have actually AC, so we go there, enjoy the AC to walk around, and all we can afford is one popsicle. But we are little kids,
Right. So you were happy with that, right?
Happy with that.
It was fun, right?
So right now people complain so much, all the young people in Hong Kong, so I don't understand. But I see the exact same energy in here.
Yeah.
So you think about, Hong Kong is the 80 and Dubai in the 2020, For me, it's the same energy. That's a lot of people actually tell me, it's like, Sam, you're from Hong Kong. Dubai is exactly like Hong Kong in the 80s. I think, you may have a point. So
yeah, and I also see, I mean, yes, Hong Kong, and then extend it a bit for mainland. I do see some similarities there. So I started teaching English in China in 2000. I'm just going to throw it out there. Hey, and I remember at the time it was such a freeing experience. Like the whole experience was, just going where you want to go. Everything was very safe. Right. Things were very safe. Meeting people, everyone wanted to talk to you and meet you, of course, because you're foreigner. And me being a Black American, I mean, it was like, whoa, what? Well, Michael Jordan, wait, what's going on? People were very confused. But I do sense that here too, because there's a lot of opportunity. And I think that's what you're experiencing as well with this MetaIncubator, is that everyone sees the opportunity and they want to somehow take a part of it. And I think when you look at China, like 20 years ago, there was very much that feel of, this is fertile ground. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah. So now, the center of the world has moved, to here. So I think all the people that are watching the podcast, think about come to Dubai and check it out.
Yeah, check it out. Don't come broke, please. Don't.
Yeah. No, don't worry. Hey, everybody will try. So
yeah, that's
try to
true.
Make some money here. So.
That's true. There's that as well. I wanted to talk a little bit about sort of this trend in the metaverse. And you see this entertainment and celebrities all trying to kind of be in the metaverse. And do you see any applications that you feel are just not really a good fit? So, for example, I mean, Meta, formerly Facebook, tried to, do a lot in the metaverse. And a lot of it didn't really get traction. A lot of it, people really didn't take part of it. What do you think is not getting traction? What do you think is getting traction?
That's actually more about innovators' dilemma, because I'm from tech side. So because in a big corporate, it's always hard for you to innovate. Not actually like building the technology. It's just like you are creating a new business model that crashes with the old business model. But the old business model always bigger. That's why a lot of time, when up and down during a bad quarter, then you would actually remove the potential project.
Yeah.
That's actually all over the place. Like, that's one of the classic business school book, right? Innovator Dilemma. So we can see, even talk about the Facebook blockchain thing, the Libra, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, for after billions of dollars invested, they lay off all the people. So now, all the Libra people come out, start Aptos and seize those blockchain, and they raise hundreds, billions of dollars.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, hey, potentially they may be a successful project right now. So I actually don't think they intentionally make it misfire, because sometimes when you become too big, you become slow, and also you care about too many things you need to take care of.
Yes.
Rather than when you're just a startup, you really focus. And then you can really try to build good products, serve your customer. So
I have a controversial thought about funding. Okay. This is, and it's kind of to your point about being too big too fast. I see some projects that are so focused on getting the funding that once they do, it almost destroys their focus. They're not able to really absorb that amount of resources and direct it in a meaningful way. That's kind of what I've seen. I mean, some are very successful. Obviously, they go on and continue to grow and build. But some you can actually visually see this misdirection and lack of focus.
It's actually a lot of people don't talk about it, because right now you talk about a lot of US projects, they're overfunded.
Yeah. And
sometimes, because even spending money is not easy. Yeah. So like one of the biggest expenses in any startup is hiring people. So, okay, suddenly you have $100 million. But how fast you can hire people? And I mean good people.
Yes.
That's why I can, suddenly bring 50 people in the company. But then
you're going to manage them.
And the 40 of them may not be a good fit. But then for those 40 people may create much more problem in the company than just take it slow. So, and that's actually, I think that's really depend on the founder. But you get a really right point. Okay, when a founder, because the VC know, you need that much money to scale the product. But then how to control the timing to scale it will be the issue. That's exactly what happened. One of the most famous actually example is the Vision Fund. The SoftBank Vision Fund.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a what, $50 billion, $100 billion fund. So the problem they have is they only have 10 years. So and then pretty much the first 2-3 years, or maybe the 5 years, you could invest all the money. But how can you spend like that many billion in 2 years?
It's almost impossible.
It pretty much like, if you somehow you can schedule a meeting with them, they will give you money, because it's the speed and the velocity of the cash.
Right.
When you're running a VC fund, you need to move money, because I need to invest all the money before I raise another fund.
Right.
So somehow they actually, urgency to spend all the money, and that's why they spend it in a really bad way.
Yeah.
Same with startup too. So that's a really delicate situation that I think differentiate between good founder and a bad founder. So
yeah. And
it's not controversial. It's actually real problem.
It is. And I think there's also this tendency to put a very high weight on getting funding, where people feel as though, I've got funding and now I've made it. No, now it starts.
Yeah.
Now you got to get to work.
Exactly.
Like it's not, it's not.
Now you have a fiduciary duty, right, to your board. So, and then they will be more controlling. They may put more their advice on governing, so may not be good for you. So as a founder, I understand it because everything is money. Because
right.
when you do pay your employee, you don't know where you get the money to pay them next month. It's a really a tough feeling. So, but then a lot of founders are also spending way too much time on talk to VC than customer.
Yeah. I was actually reading an article. Actually, it was a thread on Twitter. And the guy, he's actually in VC now, but he talks about how when he first started his own company, he went through, I believe it was 1,000 meetings. He had a spreadsheet. He went through 1,000 meetings to find the one, strategic investor for himself. And he talks about that process and how it was really challenging emotionally, but he was so dedicated and so committed to finding the funding that that's what he did. Yeah. And I look at that and I'm like, wow, 1,000 meetings, man. I would have built, something would have been built by that time. Yeah. I guess it's a different approach for every founder.
But that's why I think priority is very important for founder. That's why I said, right, if you're two founder, one is in charge of engineering, one in charge of sales and marketing. So the engineering person can always just build. So you actually don't stop because you're fundraising.
Right.
And even fundraising is not a full-time job. So you should spend 20% of the time talk to VC and 80% of the time talk to your customer. So don't spend 100% of your time talk to VC because at the end VC is not going to buy your product. So, and the thing is they give you money is because when someone's buying your product. So you got to set your priorities straight,
Right.
So a lot of things is for us is common sense. Even when I become a founder, right, CEO, maybe I will make the same mistake too.
Yeah, true.
Because you will always look for the bigger paycheck, right? Rather than I talk to one customer and I take $10 from them, something like that, Yeah.
What would you say? I mean, I guess a lot of people are probably watching from outside of Dubai.
Yeah.
And they've stumbled across the show because they have an idea or they have an inspiration that they want to see come to life. And they may be considering moving to Dubai and finding an accelerator, an incubator program to get into. What is the advice you would give them?
I think the advice is, first of all, is you get to also have a deep kind of think deeply why you come to Dubai. Can Dubai have something offer that you need? Just like if you really target on Southeast Asian market, then how come you just don't go to Southeast Asia? Right? Because Dubai do have a lot of opportunity. When you come here, first of all, do you have a connection with the GCC area first? And then if GCC also potentially can be one of your market. Because if I'm running a startup, I always want to be close to my customer.
Right.
That's why MetaIncubator is Dubai, because I'm surfing like startup project in Dubai.
Yeah.
So I don't want to come to Dubai because of all the VC and all the ecosystem in here, but I'm building a product for Thailand.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. So, or building in Europe. So, and the thing is, so you got to think about what actually is your competitive advantages too. When you come to Dubai, do you have competitive advantages? Just like if I'm just trading oil, there's so many oil trader in here.
You're not going to make it, people.
Market?
Not going to make it.
For metaverse and Web3, there's a lot of opportunity. So even when you have a Web3 project, is this something that you can do in Dubai or somewhere related? Because we have a lot of Indian population in here,
right?
Like Chinese population in here. So are those your market too? That's exactly, I think, one of the episodes you have talked to Pasa, right?
Yeah.
It's actually for migrant worker. That actually is perfect.
That's perfect.
Because if you go to Hong Kong probably too, because they have a lot of Filipino May, or Singapore too. But if you go to China, then like there's no May in there. So it's not your target.
We're doing it ourselves, yeah.
Yeah. So if you do a similar project in there, that would be actually very interesting. So I can see also art is also a big industry in here. That's why if you do NFT with art, it's also good. So and then insurance not that much because people not care about insurance. So I think you really need to study market. So I think my advice to all the startup founders: you come here, you talk to people, and talk to people about your business idea too. Do you need to be here, right? Because if you just come here for fundraising, you can just come here for a couple conference and then you can go. You don't need to stay here. But if you stay here, then make sure your market are close by. So
that's such a good point. Yeah. With ByteBao, it originally started as legal services for Web3 companies, and most of my clients were outside of Dubai, and that was before VARA, the Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority, came into place, and we were still looking at the U.S. for the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and looking at Singapore for the Monetary Authority of Singapore. And then I started to say, like, why am I here, right? If everyone, but then, right, when the regulations came within Dubai, there was a lot of inbound work, people coming in saying, hey, I want to set up, I want to do something. And so I think that's a really good point.
Also, that's actually mega trends because people want diversification. They don't want to put all the money in US or all the money in China or more the money in Europe. And not too many people actually putting money in the Middle East.
True.
Actually, if you look at this, right? That's why when actually one of the most hot business actually right now is setting up a family office.
Yes.
So in the legal field, so that's why it's the mega trend. Sometimes they don't talk about it on TV, but only when you're there, you're talking to people, then actually asset management would be a huge market in here. And look at even during the pandemic, right? All the oil company in here have so much cash because the oil is still like $85 a barrel. So they like the cash is in their pocket and they did put it somewhere.
Right.
So the asset management also is a huge market in here. So if you are doing Web3 on asset management, this actually would be a good place.
That's huge. I've actually seen a couple of companies come through with ideas similar to that, is helping family offices manage their assets, helping them invest in crypto and NFTs. And because, as we mentioned in a previous show, the education is not there.
Yeah.
So people have the funds and they want to do something, but they're not really sure what they should do and how they should do it.
That's why your podcast actually one of the leader and pioneer to do that, to educate people to invest in crypto. Because even as I said, right, I even talked to all the family office or high net worth individual. You could put 1% in crypto, that's it, because just learn, get there. Because even for the last cycle, that 1% have like 100x, 1000x.
Yeah.
And it's no risk. If I lost all of them, I just lost 1%.
Exactly.
So, that actually very interesting. That's why they're curious. But then it still take a little bit time.
Yeah. And people need to learn from a diverse set of speakers, right? And so they need to learn from people who are from Hong Kong, from the US, from India, and from Morocco, from other places who are doing something that's innovative.
Yeah, because, first of all, not just innovative, even for asset management, I don't think it's never a big business in here. I think a lot of them just doing trade finance. Right. So it's totally different kind of animals. So now it's happening. So
interesting. It's amazing. It really is.
Yeah.
Sam, what would be, I guess, one thing that you want viewers to take away from this whole idea of starting a business in Web3 and then seeking help through an accelerator?
I think, first of all, you start a business with Web3 is go back to what you want to build. Do you really need Web3 technology first? And then sometimes it's even at the beginning, when you build your MVP, you don't need to be Web3. Because for me, I'm an OG in the industry. That's at the end, there's no Web3, Web2, Web4, Web5. It's about human happiness.
Wow.
Right? Can you build a business that make people happy? So then they will give you money.
Then you're set.
Yeah, then you're set. So and Web3 is a technology. It's a very disruptive technology. It's a lot of potential because you talk about Web2, then pretty much all the innovation can be done with technology is done. So right now with Web3 is new technology. That's why a lot more new application can be developed. But still, to go back to the basic, with this kind of new technology, so not the other way around. No, I want to start a Web3 company. So that's why I do a startup. So you do a startup, you understand who your customer, how you can solve their problem. Everybody still have problem, right?
Yeah.
But can Web3 technology, most likely, when you what kind of technology can help them, most likely is Web3 technology. That's actually the other way around. And from there, then you know what you try to build, and to work with an incubator, accelerator to give you the right resources, because every team needs differently too,
Right.
So some accelerator are really like structural, some are not structural, just like MetaIncubator are really not structural, because we take a diverse group of startup. So some of them just have cohorts like 20 company, whatever, but we don't do that. So it depends how you did, and also is at the end also talk to a lot of different accelerator too. It's kind of like picking a business school. So I actually graduated from Duke Fuqua Business School, right?
Oh.
So even as an alumni, then I actually go back to the info section, to talk to the potential like student, right? So and you don't recognize it at the beginning, but after talk to hey Sam, Fuqua is very different, because everybody is so nice. When I go to like I don't want to name other top school, they say, oh yeah, there's only like couple alumni show up. But for Fuqua, like dude, usually like 10, 20 people, and they can talk to anybody. They're so helpful.
It's a much friendly environment.
Yeah, because I think Fuqua is really built for a teamwork like base. That's why even Tim Cook actually interviewed candidate for us. Like even Melinda Gay is like, actually nobody know about it, but they do. So that's why I think even the incubator or accelerator, they have different personality to pick the one that is right for you. And there's a lot, there's a lot of them out there. And then go back to the thing, right? It's not about fundraising. It's about building. So don't think accelerator can help you or funding. They can. But then at the end, it's not the basics. The basics, how to find the product market fit, is really depend on you. Wow. Because an accelerator is try to help founder do everything else, like in HR, like marketing, automation on the process, all those things, but not finding the product market fit. That's always the core of building a startup, and that's something that nobody ever can help you. So they can talk to you and help you evaluate, but you are the one that do the hard work, talk to a lot of people, and figure out the product market fit. So
wow. Founders in Web3, if you're listening, you should be taking, just rewind the past 5 minutes and listen to Sam. Sam, that's a really important piece that I think a lot of people forget.
Yeah.
It's such a focus on the funding and not on the building. And your point is focus on the mission, focus on the building, focus on the fit, even with your support through an accelerator, find the right accelerator for you and work from there.
Yes. Yeah.
Sam, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure having you.
I'm so happy to talk to you too. So
yeah, this is great. Where can people find MetaIncubator if they want to learn more?
Just go to our website, MetaIncubator.com. We have a telephone number, emails are all there.
Great, awesome. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing more from MetaIncubator.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in and listening to today's episode. I appreciate when you guys tune in and the time that you take to listen to the show and support us. And I have one thing that I'd love for you to do that would really help us out, which is rate the show. If you've enjoyed it, make sure you rate it. You can do it on whatever platform you're listening on. That would do wonders for us. And if you really want to be a super fan and really support the show, there's a link below that you can support us and donate a small monthly contribution, which allows us to continue to create great content for you. Thanks so much again. Appreciate you, and see you next time.